Verse number 46. Yatah pravtiribhutanam yena sarvamidam tatam swakarmana tamavyarchya siddhim vindati manava. We have discussed this verse very carefully, that a person attains a siddhi called purity by abhyarcha, tam abhyarcha, by worshipping Lord. And what is that Lord? That Lord is nothing but yataha pravrittihi bhutanam iti. So from whom all these beings are originated. And again, yena sarvam idam tatam iti. And by whom all this is pervaded. That means with the formless God, I offer, I worship. So how do I worship? Because every worshipping needs some offering. That we saw swakarmana. Swakarmana means through one's own karma, through one's own duty. That means whatever work is being assigned to me, or whatever job I take up, it is just for worshipping. That's why I highlighted these cultural practices. When you go to the temple, you don't try to show up, unlike nowadays people show up, okay? I remember very nicely, it was there different ways, differently. Some people become arrogantly humble. So arrogantly humble means, especially in Odisha temples, if you go, so when the temple is being made, they give some money. So whatever money. Then they will be allowed to put a stone, nameplate stone. So their name will be on the, steps or somewhere. So what is the concept is that they will dedicate the father, mother or themselves, whatever. So they think that when people come and step on them, so their name is being stepped by the devotees. So they feel blessed. So I call them as, that arrogantly humble. So they want to present that they are very humble, but it is not humility at all. However, here we saw in details that karma is to be done, there is no choice. But when I do karma, for me, I have to derive happiness from karma itself, not karma phala. If I am deriving happiness, joy from karma phala, that means there is a long way to travel. And only that person can derive happiness from the karma when the person is having understanding that karma phala data is Isvarah. And the more I understand the giver of karma phala is Isvarah, automatically I will not go crazy or behind karma phalam, but I will look karma. That's why I will start excelling whatever I do. While doing itself, I am happy. Not that whatever comes or whatever does not come. Continuing. Shreyan swadharme vigunaha paradharmat sunushthitat स्वभाव नियतम कर्म कुर्वन्नाप्नोति किल्बिषम्. Here, the word dharma is being talked as karma. You need to understand very carefully. Here it says, Shreyan swadharme vigunaha. That means swadharma. So what does the swadharma mean? One's own duty. So that means swakarmaha iti. So whatever duty either you have taken up or it has been given. So how it happens? Don't forget the procedure. Generally, any karma we are supposed to take up based on our guna, not based on competition. Till now in India there is one state, I don't want to name it. So in that state, people want to be engineer. Because if they become engineer, especially boys become engineer, so marriage time, one particular community, marriage time they can get, enough of dowry. And I am not telling you jokes. In India, if anybody comes from that state with the engineering certificate, people check whether the fellow has studied properly or not, whether certificate is, genuine or not. Till now, this is continuing for your kind information. And of course, when they work, you can see the difference, how they work. What I am highlighting here is not degrading anybody. Point is here, the person took up this profession called engineering, not because of guna, not because of hereditary, but because of out of competition. Just to compete, just to prove, just to do something, just to, show off, the person takes. That's why the person fluctuates. If you observe, that is how I do with people. When I give a job to somebody, if I discover the person starts fluctuating, the person is not, following norms and conditions, does whatever feels, that means the person has taken up out of competition. We have different methods to understand. That is how, when we grow up in ashrams, when the teacher gives different type of job, to understand all these things. Based on that, the class. Remember, Aham Brahmasi Tattvamasi, with this one word or one half sentence, teaching is completed. But how your mind is moving, functioning, that also you need to see, or you need to understand. At least in the class you need to understand and reflect, analyze it. Or else, don't worry. We say very nicely, though in Odia, because now in Odisha, so a lot of Odia words are coming, the pigeon that is being in this, brass maker's house, all the time, dig, dag. And if you try to tell, hey, go away, will that pigeon bother about you? Because that fellow has heard a lot. is habituated. So also this my class sometimes becomes habituated or habit for you people. Anyway, let him talk. And on the top of it you will say, oh, his mood is not good today. He is angry today. Wish you all the best. Swadharma to be taken up. Swadharma means swakarma. One's own duty to be taken up as per the rule based on my guna. If not because of out of my guna, at least hereditary. Not out of comfort, out of competition. Is it clear? Problem with most of the people here, the profession that you have taken off, not because of your guna, not because of your hereditary, of course not, but only because of competition and insecurity. That's why come to class once in a while so that you feel bad, okay? Or good, I don't know. However, when this is swadharma is to be performed, and while performing, it says biguna. Let us say you have taken up this your karma because of hereditary or because of your quality. Now that is not done properly. Biguna means that which is not performed properly. Now what happens? It says, look, Shreyan paradharmat sonushthitat. So that means paradharmat sonushthitat. So paradharma means not others dharma, okay? His others karma, para karmat ityartha. So then another's duty, and that duty is performed properly. Means one's own duty, even if it is not performed properly, is better than another person's duty performed very well or properly. And one more step he goes. Kurban karma swabhava niyatam na apnoti kilvisham. He uses this word kilvisham. So kilvisham means sin. Now Arjuna is being engaged in such a karma because that is his hereditary karma, being Kshatriya, because you need to understand contextually too. Anybody takes up any karma, always starts comparing. So also Arjuna. Arjuna being Kshatriya, so his karma is himsa related. There is violence because he has to protect, he has to, give justice to the society. So whoever does not support has to be punished. Because he cannot, everybody is a goody-goody, everybody is a good. It is not the duty of a Kshatriya. Now, interestingly, when a person is a Kshatriya, for him, Brahmana karma, Vaishya karma and Sudra karma is more interesting. Can you see this point? If you look at yourself, when you are in the job office, except sitting on your table, you feel like sitting everybody's chair. Everybody's chair. Appa, they don't have any job. Boss is very free. In fact, the chai wala who brings the chai, he is more happy, comfortable than me. So you compare with everybody. Sales team always think, wow, nothing like being in production team. Production team says nothing like in finance. You understand? So each team always, glorifies other team. They do not respect their work at all. This is the Arjuna case, it's you people case also. Have you not seen what you do? That means always you look down your karma. And when you look down your karma, can you perform well? Will you be able to see growth? That's why always you do with murmuring. That's why you keep a group of people who will be boosting your ego. I remember somebody recently came. Person should not listen to me. If he listens, he will say, Swamiji, don't tell me my examples in the class, okay? So the person very nicely said, look, Swamiji, I'm jumping from this company to another company. I said, I wish you all the best. Then casually I asked, so how is it now, Swamiji? As usual, you know, I have some 10-20 people. So once I jump, so within 1 month, 20 people also jump from this company to that company. I said, wow, fantastic. And of course, the person goes one step ahead. Swamiji, I take care of them. I personally relate with them. That's why they are with me. I wanted to say, do you personally take care, or they take care of you personal ego? Because you want a group of people who will take care of your ego. This is the truth. This is the reality. That's why all these VP, all these big fellows, all these manager, all the top level people, what they do? Do they jump from one company to another company single? Very difficult. They cannot. Because if they jump, they will be zero. So they need a group of people who can massage their ego. You understand the concept? So they can detect terms and conditions everywhere with more money. And this is what called corporate affairs. And that's why whoever is in the corporate field and thinks that I am a corporate, I am a professional, fellow is a dump in personal life. This is the truth, this is the reality. Yes, they might have contributed. I don't want to name anybody, but I can give you one of the best examples without naming the person. In India, we have a husband is a best corporator. Wife also, of course, was one of the best. She was also working professionally. She was doing very well. But the wife is gem. The husband is horrible. I hope some of you might be getting whom I am hinting. There are hundreds of examples I can tell you. Because of the concept is what? The person always looks to compete and in return wants my ego to be nourished. That's why long before the person comes, ego comes. Me. I. Who are you? What is me? I am not interested. That's why if you go to your home, if you say me, I, will your husband, will your child, will your wife, will your parents bother about you? I was talking to somebody recently. Somebody said, Swamiji, you are also critical sometimes. You are critical of women, especially successful women. And I also observed, the person added one more point, added that I also noticed that many successful men are critical of successful women. I said, the wrong thing you are talking. No man is critical of successful woman. Please remember this point. And of course, a successful man will never become critical of a successful woman either. But the problem is, when a woman becomes successful, when a woman becomes freedom, becomes free, when the woman becomes financially free, becomes stronger, the strength, freedom or success becomes her hat. And she forgets that she is a woman. she tries to talk to husband or parents or children, hey, I am successful woman, not I am woman. I am free woman. I am stronger woman. I don't need you. You need me. Now, which man will like it? No man will like it. That's why if a woman thinks, same thing also man, I'll come to man, don't worry. If a woman thinks, yes, I am successful, I need you, you need me, then there will be no issue at all. Why I am highlighting this point is, this swadharmaha vigunaha, always you need to do your karma. Because each one of us, the body that you have, the mind that you have, the place you are born, everything is determined by your karma. Don't forget that. So if all these things are determined by your karma, that means better to do what is to be done. Secondly, says, look, if you try to compare and compete with others, definitely you will be in a miserable situation and you will create only problem. You will look your ego to be nourished. Nothing else. Oh Arjuna, even if you are being engaged a karma where hinsa is involved, you may have to kill many people. That sort of work you have to do it. Don't worry, you are not going to gain. You will not incur any kilvisham, any sin. Because, please understand, karma always helps us to prepare our mind, not to nourish our ego. Is it clear? Karma is important to me to prepare my mind, not to nourish my ego. But if I take up karma to nourish my ego, that is what common people do it. Whatever karma you have taken up so far, please understand. Have you taken up to polish your ego or to nourish your ego? In fact, you always pick up the karma that which is going to nourish your ego. Once my ego is nourished, first of all, I cannot do that karma well. Why? Because karma presupposes kartutva bhavam in me. When I look for nourishment of my ego, there is kartutva bhavam in me or bhoktrutva bhavam in me. Bhoktrutva means sense of enjoyership, experiencer. So I do not become a doer, but I am more an experiencer. So when I am more an experiencer, once in a while I do it. You understand? And when I do little bit, oh, I sweat, I shout, I expect everybody to cooperate. Then come out, I need coffee, do you know what you do it, okay? In this way, I respect all the women. Women are more doer than experiencer. They will cry, but they have multiple, this CPU is a multiprocessor, okay? They can cry, at the same time they can cut vegetable, at the same time they can attend to you also. It's amazing. Have you not observed this? A woman can keep crying, also can cut vegetable. At the same time also who is coming, who is not coming, we can attend to you also. Whereas man, If watching TV, only watches TV. If watching phone, only watches phone. It's a single processor, okay? Linux. Very unfortunate, okay? However, whether you are a woman or man makes no difference. Karma purpose is to make sure to polish my ego. When I take up this, then what happens to me? The next verse, let us read. Same point communicated in a different way. Sahajam karma kaunteya sadosamapi natyajet sarvarambha hi doshena dhomenagniривabruta. Lord Krishna says, Hey Kaunteya, O Arjuna. He says, look, Sahajam karma sadosam api natyajit. That means Sahajam karma, don't look at, Sahajam means easy. That which is easy, no, it is not easy. Sahajam karma means that which is inborn karma, inborn duty. That what you are supposed to do. And it's supposed to be Sahaja means because you are doing regularly. Because translation, Sahaja karma means easy karma, convenient karma. No, not like that. So each word you have to be very careful. And second thing is, remember this Sahajam karma, not tyajit. One should not give up. So inborn duty must not be given up. He says, Sadosham api, even though defective. Because why you have got this karma? Because of your previous life karma. If you try to avoid, if you try to run away, that means you are not settling with your mind. You can observe all your behavior. Each behavior that comes out from you is related to your experience. Do you agree this or not? Each behavior, each word, even if that we utter, the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you respond, forget react, okay? All are related to your previous experiences. The insecurity, especially in you, makes you to react. I'll give you one example so that it becomes easier. In my life, it had happened. I was going in Delhi. I think I was going to Dehradun, to Rishikesh. So I had some cash because as per the rule, more than 50,000 rupees cash should not be with you while traveling, especially during election time. No chance. Once election is declared, so as per the Indian rule, more than 50,000 cash must not be there with you as a rule. And of course, when you go to Himalayas, you need to carry cash. I'm talking very long back. So I had some cash. So in the screening, as usual, I know. And I was, passing through in a very VIP security. Then somebody, because I took little time to come, somebody like one security personnel, the army people, they called, this is whose bag, whose bag? Now what happens to me? I started reacting. Instead of saying me, my bag, what happened? I said, why are you shouting? What happened? I shouted back. Then the person said, oh, is it yours? The seeing me? Yes, yes. Okay, just we wanted to know this is whose bag. After that, they did not check, okay? Because in scanning, they must have seen it, okay? Now imagine, This is a small example. Why did I react? Because of my some previous experience, because of my previous knowledge. Just observe yourself. And what you do, whatever is inconvenient, you don't do it. Always you do everything that is convenient to your ego. So that's what here is being highlighted. Hey, look, every karma has got dosham, has defect. A karma without defect, it is impossible. Including sahajam karma. And it says, sarvarambhaha abrutaha doshena iva agni dhumena. How agninaha dhumena iva, how the agni, the fire, always is surrounded by dhuma, smoke. You cannot differentiate, you cannot separate fire from smoke, or smoke, I would rather say smoke from fire. Wherever there is fire, there has to be smoke. So wherever there is karma, there has to be some defect. That's why sarvarambha. So arambha means here duties. So arambha, that which has been already begun, means your karma. So sarvarambha, all duties, abrutaha, are surrounded with dosa, by dosas, by defects. Doshena. How? Agni naha dhumena iva. How the smoke. That means if every karma is surrounded or is filled with defect, now I must do what is to be done. So when I do what is to be done, I see the growth. Not I do what I want to do where my ego is being nourished. More of it, we will say. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.